Hey yo, what it do? Y'all already know we back with another Elevation Talks. Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's always an exciting time when it's the beginning of a new year because everybody know, including you, everybody come out with these brand new year resolutions about what they going to do, what they going to achieve. They make a list of all of these goals, right? And I've even been guilty over the past few years of telling people to just write it down. And I'm going to still tell people to write it down. But this year, I'm actually going to take it a step further. I'm going to challenge you a little more. I'm going to challenge you to decide, who do you want to become? Not what you want to do, not any titles. I'm talking about, who do you want to become? Do you want to become somebody that's more consistent? Do you want to become somebody that lives a healthy and stable lifestyle? Like, who do you want to become? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an important question, because who you decide that you're going to become, your decisions are going to follow. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things that we don't realize, where it's like, the reason we don't rise to our goals is because we fail to our identity. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who we really and truly want to be. You know what I'm saying? Who do we want to become? And so we kind of work it backwards, where we kind of focus on what we want to do, how we going to do it, who I want to be. You know what I'm saying? And we actually need to reverse that. So that's what I want to dive into today, is basically just like really deciding, who do you want to be and what decisions need to follow. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year.
So let me tell y'all this story, right? One day I had a dream, and it was so crazy. I never had a dream like this before. I had this dream a few years ago, and I was in this room with like some people, and it felt like, as some of y'all know, like, I'm in the entertainment industry. And so it felt like, as I was looking around the room, it felt like an entertainment gathering, an industry gathering. And so at some point, I was sitting next to somebody on the couch, and we was just talking, just whatever. And somebody came through, and they had a tray of Coke. Yes, you heard me, a tray of Coke. I'm not talking about cans. I'm talking about product like Coke. And they was like, oh yeah, like, bet. Boom, I'm gonna have some. And so bruh did a line, and it's like, oh, here, Nate. And I was like, oh, nah, I don't do that. And it was like, oh, okay. And, they went on. And I remember waking up from that dream like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never dreamed about no Coke and all of that. Like, oh, hey, hold on. And so, I never understood the dream. I thought it was the most random thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? But as this past year has gone by, and I see the different things that God has been taking me through, it's been slowing me down, and it's all leading me up to this moment with you, where I'm now asking you, because I've had to pause and ask myself, who do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it feels like sometimes we don't have a choice. And that was one of the things that I felt like I had to come to terms with last season. It's like, I know it may seem like you don't have a choice, but you do. You might have to dig around for it, but you do have one. It might be uncomfortable to make, but you do have one. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, over the last season, for real, God just really slowed me down. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally slowed down my business. Like, I had no choice but to face myself. You know what I'm saying? Face things that I didn't even know I was like ignoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I could be like honest, I didn't even know that they was a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even know it was an issue for real. But once I really started understanding what he was doing and the things that he was showing me, it started really like piercing me, like, dang, I can't go into the next level of my life like this. You know what I'm saying? Making moves like this, having friendships like this, being in these type of relationships, feeling like this, feeling numb, like just all of these different things that I was experiencing, right? Even down to how business was going. You know what I'm saying? I can't constantly be doing favors for people or not charging what I'm worth because somebody else feel like it's too much for them. Like, there were so many things that was happening, you know what I'm saying, like in this particular season. And I really had to decide, who do I want to be? You know, and so for me, you know, I know we screaming Happy New Year right now, but my New Year started way before January. Like, I literally kept telling my friends, like, yo, man, I feel something ever since it was my birthday. And if you know me, I'm like, yo, the New Year actually starts when your birthday gets here. And so I had been feeling like this tug, and I can always tell when my New Year, aka my birthday, is coming, because things starts to shift and feel different, and you can just tell that there's a sense of growth happening. You know what I'm saying? And so it always feels like we're heading into a new season. And you know, that season lasts however long it lasts. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it feel like it roll over. Sometimes it feel like it end midway, just whatever. And so literally, I really had to just be challenged with that thought process daily. Like, who do you want to become? And last year, the word of the year was focus at Transformation Church. And so I had added 2 more words to my year, which was not only just focus, but discipline and consistency. And it's like I added the words. And so, of course, you know, I break down the routine of like, okay, what does being disciplined and consistent look like? You know, where do I want to be disciplined, focused, and consistent? Disciplined, focused, and consistent in what areas? You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like a lot of times, especially like us today, we'll make these vision boards at these vision parties, right? But it's no real roadmap on how you're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? It's just ideas of like, oh, you know, I want to have this or I want to do this. And it's like, okay, but you never really ask the question of, who do I have to actually become to have these things? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's one thing that I learned literally, I feel like 2024, when God was like blessing me and I was like living in overflow. After the season had ended and I pretty much had fumbled all the blessings that he had like gave me, I realized that you don't just need to pray, you know, God bless me with these things and these type of relationships and these type of opportunities, but you also need to be praying for the wisdom and the discipline to maintain and steward as well as multiply all that he provides. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need the discipline internally, you know what I'm saying, to actually maintain whatever it is. And so it's like, yo, it's like you know that until it's actually time to put it in practice and you don't actually make that move. You know what I'm saying? And so it always kind of exposes the different things that are still inside of you that needs to be, you know, pretty much removed from you if you're going to go in this direction and handle this size of blessings, you know what I'm saying, or these size of opportunities, because that's the thing. Everything that you want is coming. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you're praying for, everything that you wishing for, the things known and unknown. God already knows the desires of your heart. You know what I'm saying? And if they align according to his will, he's going to provide those things for you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, don't be one of those people. you get an answered prayer, but you fumble it because you truly not prepared for it. And I don't even want to say prepared, because sometimes, like, I feel like sometimes God will give you stuff just to show you that you're not ready, and to trust him so he can prepare you so that you can be ready, and so that you can have all the things. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just me. One of the things that Pastor Darius Daniel always says is, the God you see is the God you get. So that's me. That's my insight. You might not feel the same way, but that's how I feel. I do feel like, not saying that God, because God is very intentional, and that's key. You feel me? Like, that's one of the things that I've learned too. Like, he not gonna put you in a situation where you can't handle it. You feel what I'm saying? But it can be a situation where you mismanage it, because think about it, we still have choice at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you might be getting them tugs to move a certain way or do something differently, and you still decide that you want to do it how you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean by, like, you know, God pretty much granting you whatever prayers that you've been asking for, and then you fumble. Not that he gave it to you because you wasn't prepared or whatever the case might be. It's just like, nah, sometimes it's just one of those things. Like, it goes back to his plans are greater than our plans, and so his way is better than our way, because if we put it in our hands and we keep it in our hands, we liable to mess it up versus doing it how he said do it. And so I'm speaking on this because I've experienced this and I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, like, but the thing about it is, and this is why it's important to know, no matter how many times you fumble, and this is what I mean by God is intentional. No matter how many times you fumble, God already knew that you were going to fumble. He already knew that you was going to drop the bag. He already knew you was going to drop the ball. Like, none of this is new to him. It's just new to you. You're just now getting here. And so that's why it's important, you know, I go back to the question of, who do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, like, God is never asking you to be perfect. Never. Never asking you to be perfect. What he's asking is progress. Like, I'm going to show you the way. Follow me. Have a relationship with me. Build with me. Trust me. Believe in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, say that I am and believe that I am who I say I am, right? You feel me? And it's just like, but you can only speak those things genuinely as you continue to experience God. And that's why, you know, I'll never forget, I tell y'all this story all the time, but when my grandfather passed away and I asked the question, who's going to pray for me now? I'm telling you, God literally sat me down and had an encounter with me, and it's just like, it was his way of just telling me, you don't need somebody else to have a relationship with me in order to have a relationship with me. You have the power to have a relationship with me, because I've been walking with you the whole time. I've been a part of your journey the entire time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, like, and so he will use people to help bring people to him. You feel what I'm saying? But he already knows you. He already knows your name. He already knows your story. He already know your plans. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm saying, like, for me, even as I sit here and talk to y'all today, I never knew that I was going to have the type of relationship that I have with God. Like, I never saw myself, like, even sitting in the moment of this where it's like, yo, every time I come on here, in some shape or form, I end up telling y'all about God. Like, I can have a whole script, like an outline of like what I want to talk about, the direction that I want to go, and God, and I pray before I do this, like, yo, Lord, Holy Spirit, activate. Lord, I want to say the words that you want me to say, and I want to do the things that you want me to do. And then we hit record, and then we go. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, so when it come off like I'm just giving it to you raw, I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have an idea of what I want to talk about, but then it's like I go off script because that's what Holy Spirit is doing. But yeah, man, I keep going back to the question of like you having to decide who you want to be, because that is going to determine how successful your year is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want this to be your season, if you want this to be the best year yet, if you want this to be the year of you and you accomplishing and doing everything that you say you're going to do, it really starts with a decision. And it's you constantly making that decision. It's about alignment. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's you making decisions that are aligned with the person that you say you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd never forget, I was watching like a DJ Khaled, I don't know if it was a documentary. It felt like a documentary, but he was just talking about how, like, when he was like, he like really becoming like DJ Khaled, like he was in the studio every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was in the studio every single day, even when he didn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you just pause and think about it, right? There are so many people that you look up to. You know what I'm saying? Not idolize, but there are people that have inspired you. And, you know, you're looking at them and you're looking at their life and you just kind of like, dang, man, they lucky. Like, they got it made. And it's just like, it's not luck. It's decision making. And a lot of times, and most of us, we have poor decision making skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, right? And I'm gonna put y'all in my business, but y'all gonna see it transform this year. I'm getting this on film so y'all will know. We're gonna pull this back up and y'all gonna see. But one of the things that I've been putting on my goal list over the years is to lose 50 pounds. And then another part of it is, I want to live a more healthier and stable lifestyle. And so I'm like, okay, I put this on my goal list just about every year. And I'm like, and I'll start strong. I'll work out, I'll eat well, and then literally probably, and I'll even start seeing results. I'll start seeing results. Like, I'm talking about, one of the times I had a trainer, and there was times where the trainer wasn't even showing up to the gym and I was showing up. I had made a decision about who I wanted to be. But I fell to actually the inconsistency of that person. I started going with how I felt versus sticking with the plan. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I want to tell you. Don't base your decisions around how you feel. Because that's the thing about feelings, they change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to decide who do you want to be and literally show up as that person and make decisions as that person every single day. And so when you're in your decision making like mood, one of the things that you can ask yourself, does this align with the person that I'm becoming? And that right, and 'cause what you just did right there was pause. Pause before you make a decision. One of the things that I learned in therapy last year, which was so dope, was the idea of mindlessness, and how, if you think about it, a lot of us we operate in mindlessness. Like, from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, there are so many decisions that have to constantly be made that at some point we just on autopilot. We're not even thinking about the things that we doing for real. We just doing. You know what I'm saying? And that is what harms us when we go to like the default setting of whoever we are. And it's like, yo, you can't stay in your default setting. You have to consciously choose every single day, this is the person that I'm going to be, and these are the moves that I'm going to make. And if they don't align with where I'm going, then I got to change the decision. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what the struggle has been for me, where it's like food has been a way that I cope. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget it. I used to have a friend, and she asked me, she's a nutritionist and a chef, and she asked me, Nate, what's your relationship like with food? And I was like, relationship? If I'm being honest, I didn't even know we had a relationship. Like, I'm not thinking about no relationship. You know what I'm saying? But I had never had anybody ask me that. And so what it did was it forced me to like pause and actually think about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, when you wake up in the morning, tell me about it. You know, do you eat breakfast? If you do eat breakfast, what do you eat? And it's like, well, shoot, I ain't even gonna hold you. Depending on what I had the previous night, sometimes what I had the previous night be what I have for breakfast. And so sometimes what I had the previous night might not be the best thing to have, let alone have it for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? And so what I started realizing is like, yo, a lot of my relationship with food definitely stems from the type of relationship that I've always had with food, even when we was kids. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, it's like you got to start making a transition of, yeah, this is what I used to do because I ain't know no better, but now I actually have choice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is what I used to do because it's like, boom, I was a kid. If you grew up in the same household like me, where it's like, yo, this what we eating, and that's what it's gonna be. It's like, okay, well, this what we eating. Like, now you don't have to live like that. You know what I'm saying? I just got to a point literally like a few years ago, and I know I'm not alone, and I know this don't sound crazy, but there was a time when I was a kid where, you know, it's 6 of us in a house. We're not wasting no food. And so I literally used to have to sit at the table until all the food on my plate was gone. And so fast forward, as an adult, I was still operating like that. You know what I'm saying? I was still eating like, yo, I have to make sure all of my food is off my plate. And so it literally had got to a point where it was just like, you don't have to eat like that, because like you should be eating to feel good, not, you know. And that's how I started. Like, you're learning how to overeat, right? But it's like you don't know all of this stuff. You have to learn this stuff, because truth be told, for a long time, especially like, you know, you growing up in the 90s, like in a typical black household, all of that, ain't nobody talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody mentioning nothing about none of that, because they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, that's why I know for sure it's my generation of people that have really been sent here to break generational curses and stuff. It's because it's like we're getting the education and the knowledge and the wisdom. Now that we know better, we do better, and we have to let the people that's coming behind us know, hey, you can move like this instead of move like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know our family, this is the history and this is what we come from. This is what we do. For some of us, this is what we known for, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, nah, you can make the decision on who you want to be and who you want to become. But that starts with your decision-making skills. And so what I don't want to do is make you feel like, damn, so I've been making the wrong decisions all of this time. No. You didn't know better, and if you did know better, you didn't choose better. But at some point, you're going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. At some point, you're going to start looking around your situation, and you get tired of seeing that nothing has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing has changed, because it's like you struggle with consistency in certain areas for whatever reason, and it's on you to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like I've slowly but surely just been learning and understanding, like, my relationship with food. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly compromising in the relationship within myself. So, of course, I'm compromising in my relationships with other people. Of course I'm doing that. That's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, I started realizing that every time I make a commitment to myself and I don't follow through, I'm bringing that same energy to my relationships and not even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm bringing that same energy to my job. I'm bringing that same energy to my calling. Like, all of that. Like, it all flows together. You know what I'm saying? And so I really want you to just take some time for real to think about. And I ain't talking about performing. I'm talking about you getting in a quiet space. You having a real conversation with yourself. Look in the mirror if you have to. But you having a real honest conversation with yourself. And you lean in. And you just talk to yourself. And you ask yourself, who do I want to be? Because the truth of the matter is, only you and God really know the things that keep you up at night. Only you and God really know deep down inside the insecurities that you have, the things that, make you smile, make you happy, joy, sad. Only you and God really, really know these things. So that's why it's important that you sit and you have a real honest conversation with yourself. A lot of times we don't like spending time with ourselves because we have to deal with ourselves. But we also be wanting other people to deal with us. And it's like, how does that work? How do you want to be in somebody else's face, but you won't even spend time in your own face? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, listen. 2026 is the year of execution. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I ain't even going to say everybody. Most people had a really wild 2025. And I know that God is not going to waste any seasons. And so for me, if I just pause and look back at my 2025, it slowed me down. But it was preparing me. It was really, I really had to get to the point where, like, yo, you have to decide now, who do you want to be? Because what you're doing is you are stunting your own growth. You are delaying the call on your life. And that's the thing about time. We don't have as much time as we think we do. You feel me? Like, we'll never get yesterday back. We'll never get today back. So every day is important. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it's going to be a perfect day. I'm never saying that. What I am saying is, just before you make your decisions, just pause. That's what I'm working on. Like, I don't want to be mindless. I want to be present. I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision for me every time. Every time it's time for me to make a decision, I want to make sure that I'm making the most aligned decision. And that's what's going to help me over time. Even if it's like, bro, this, I hate this. It might feel like that right now because change is happening. And a lot of us, we don't really care for change, but we need it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I just want to leave that with y'all. Really decide. It's not enough to write down your goals anymore. It's not enough to create a vision board. It's not enough to, the reason that a lot of these New Year's resolutions never actually come to pass, and you stop trying by the end of the month, or you don't make it to the 90 days, whatever it is, it's because you haven't decided who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You have not made the decision for real, who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have to commit to that decision, whatever that decision is. And that's another thing too that I'll talk on about maybe the next episode. But it's like we struggle with the commitments that we make because we lack commitment to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order for you to really show up this year, you have to decide who you want to be, and you have to commit to that person. Committing to that person looks like making aligned decisions daily. And the thing about it is, can't nobody make the decision for you. You have to make it. That's why the commitment to self is important. Can't nobody do it for you. The only thing that people can do is assist. The only thing that people can do is encourage. But even then, it's still on you. Your next move is on you.